Hey guys, Leona here with Empowering Wellness. It's a terrific Tuesday because it's book club night. And tonight we have Irina again with The Gift. I'm so excited. The Gift Inside is 12 steps to heal the unworthiness, brokenness, and victim mentality so you can find your happy, which is great because it's a new week. It's a new moon energy. It is great to able to bring forward what makes you happy, what lights you up, what gets you excited. And so I'm excited for this amazing passion project each month featuring a new author, which has been so fun getting to know the women behind the book, their stories, their whys, and all the tips and tricks that are inside here. And we have our beautiful Irina coming in from New York to share with us next tips. So welcome everybody. It is a terrific Tuesday. Hello, my dear, and welcome. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Hi, my dear. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Yes? No? Hello, hello. Oh, I think I hear something. Say hello.
Hi, Leona. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. Welcome, my dear.
I don't know what happened to the video.
I don't know, but can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can see and hear you, yes.
Yay! Maybe third time's the charm. It is a gift. Technology is a gift. We are becoming friends with technology. We can do this.
Yes.
So if you guys have been following along, tech has not been our best friend, but we are showing up, we are shining out, and that's the greatest joy about going live is you have the energy of the now and all the things that come with it. So looks like you're joining in the midst of all the fun and craziness of life from your car, which is such a great thing because we can create space and make connections anywhere when we have some time to connect. So tell us, my dear, what are we deep diving into for these next chapters?
Yes, so next is chapter 6, being present. And why being present is important? Because oftentimes people live either in the future, worrying about, anxious about what's happening, or they live in the past, wondering what I should have done, where I could have been, and we miss out being present. Why is being present important? Because if you want to change a life, the only place we can do so is from the present moment, from being here now. So being present is important. And it's simple things. It's when I'm talking to you, being here with you, listening to you, and not thinking about 25 other things. When you're noticing a smile on a child's face, appreciating that smile and savoring and making a mental note with your mental computer. Or when you see a sunrise, really absorbing the colors, how sky changes colors from pink to crimson to blue to white, and finally being present when the day is born. What a marvelous experience is that. You are there, you didn't miss anything. Being present allows you to focus on what's working also. So this is why it became part of the book, because I believe it's such an important practice, and our life is so fast-paced. We're constantly scrolling on the phone. We're constantly thinking about gazillion different things. Attention span is now 3 seconds. If you didn't catch anybody's attention in the first 3 seconds, you are lost. Where are we rushing to anyway? We're always in this constant rush, getting closer to a death, missing out on being present and creating from this present state reality. Every day is an opportunity. It says the gift is called the present exactly for that reason.
Exactly.
Because we can wake up and we can leave our worries yesterday. We are not doing anybody any favors by staying in the past, by regurgitating, oh, I should have done this, I could have been that. we're only making ourselves sick and worried for no good reason. Because unless, I don't know, maybe you have a time machine, you can go back and change something. I don't have one. So I choose to create from today. What happened yesterday was a lesson, let's say, if it was not good, not how you expected. And every day is an opportunity for us to make a better decision, a better choice, a better informed decision, and try better.
100%. Try better. You know, when we take the time to reflect on what didn't go quite amazing the day before, we can mark it as complete, learn the lessons, and then move forward. Because like you said, you know, besides reflecting and having that opportunity, you can't live in the past and see yourself going in the forward. You can't be looking in your rear view mirror driving forward all the time, right? Like you need to see the path that you're going, and it starts with the now and moving forward. So that's such a good point. I'm glad that you bring that up. And yeah, the present is the gift. That's why, I mean, that's the gift inside is all about being present, connecting to your heart, right? That's what we're here to do. And even in the midst of the crazy, you can take moments like you are now to connect with me, listen to me, hear me as I hear you. And you have this opportunity to be present anywhere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be looking like a meditative box or in your Zen den, you know, it can be anywhere you can take those moments to be present. I love that.
Yeah. And so we can practice being present. Simple moments of peace, of solitude, when you go for a walk, don't have a conversation, just notice where you are. Feel the wind against your skin. Listen to the sound of the birds. If you are near the beach, dip your toes in the sand and feel the sand particles against your skin. Feel that sensation. Allow your senses to experience the presence of where you are. So simple things like that, going for a walk. Another time when we are present is when we are singing, when we are speaking, we are being present because we are right here, right now. So those simple practices we can implement throughout a day and having daily practices. Another good idea, maybe set a reminder on your phone once a day or 3 times a day, depends on where you are, and send yourself a little message. Maybe even one word. What does love mean to you? And when that message pops up on your phone, stop whatever you're doing for 1 minute and just think of that word. That would allow you to practice being present. Because oftentimes, because life is fast, and how do we get better? By doing repetitions, by doing little reps. So 1 moment, 1 minute a day to focus on one idea, one key message, or maybe you set an intention, I want to be more kind. And remind yourself of that once a day. So that's how you can practice being present. Because the book is it's a how-to, but it is about practicing those habits. Not just, I'm just talking about my life, yes, but I'm also sharing tools that you can implement and practice. So that's chapter 6, being present.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, reps, right? Like you can't get stronger in the gym if you just do the weight one time, right? You got to keep going and going to build that muscle. Well, our mental mind is our muscle, right? That practicing the meditation, practicing the breath work, practicing being mindfulness. It is a practice, you know, and it takes that time and those repetitions to do that. So amazing. Love that point. So good. I can still hear you. We have no calls coming through. Everything is going great. Next chapter. Let's rock and roll.
All right. Next chapter is the kind of it was kind of heavy writing it. It's called Becoming Free from Victimhood. And the key lessons or key ingredients in this chapter is three main lessons that I want readers to take away. First one is becoming aware of where you are, becoming observant of what happened, focusing on solutions rather than on problems.
I like that.
First, taking personal responsibility, shift your focus from problem to solution, and practice observing, not absorbing. And what is it behind that? First one, taking responsibility. I think it's very difficult, could be difficult, because you have to take responsibility for all of your life. All the good, the bad, and the ugly, the things that didn't work out. We all created them. And I'm not mean to say harshly if something difficult has happened in the past with a person. All of our actions or all of our life is a creation that we created. It could not be immediate. It could be maybe a decade ago you were thinking something or saying something, and the manifestation of that idea come to be realized a decade later. So taking responsibility for your life, because oftentimes we like to outsource our health to doctors, our financial management to financial professionals. Uh, every, like any problem you have, you want to outsource. So it's that person's job and this person's job. Well, what about your job? Where are you, how you call it, responsible for your life? So being, not to say anything is good or bad, but being responsible for the outcomes of the life that you are created. I think it's important.
Absolutely. Not only responsible, but accepting that it has happened to you and that it's happening and that you're in it, right? There's that acceptance part of it.
Yes, yeah. And a simple way to practice journaling, taking account of what happened. What were you thinking? What were you feeling at the moment? Documenting your own life for yourself, becoming a scientist of your life, an observer, and looking for patterns, looking for similarities that allow you to reveal maybe something was hidden and now it becomes revealed and present, because you cannot change something you are not aware of. And how do you become aware? You become aware by observing yourself. Like a scientist makes an experiment, you also be a scientist of your life and take notice of what is taking place.
I like that. Sometimes we do. We got to get that microscope out for our own selves, seeing like what we're doing, what we're not doing, what are we repeating, right? Those patterns.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So second point is shifting focus from problem to solution. Oftentimes when we are inside a problem, all we see is the problem. And inadvertently, we're digging ourselves a bigger hole, because all we're focusing is problem, problem, problem. We create more of the problem. Meanwhile, solution is there available waiting for you to notice it. But you are so focused on one thing that you are not able to see. That's right. It's like a flashlight analogy. You're walking around in the forest with a flashlight and all you see is that little tiny dot. Meanwhile, there is 360 degrees of opportunity available all around you. And again, it's not to say put rose-colored glasses on, forget whatever happened. It's not that, but it's allowing yourself to shift your focus to what's working. Practicing gratitude here comes in very handy, because it allows you to focus on what's working. And little by little, solutions will reveal themselves. And it's not about changing your life overnight. It's about finding, let's say, one solution and take one single step in the direction of the progress. That's all. That's all it is. Like taking a tiny step, taking a little solution forward, as opposed to, again, focusing on what's not working. Because when we focus on what's not working, we will get more of what is not working.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Where our energy goes, our focus goes, our energy flows to it, right? So if we're focusing on it, the energy goes to it, then that's all we see. That's all we have more of. So yeah, getting those blinders off and actually seeing what's more around you, open up to the endless possibilities that are out there. Such a good point. Love that.
Yes. And last point of chapter 7 is practicing observing, not absorbing. So not everything that happened is yours to internalize. Again, coming back to the scientist, becoming a scientist of your life, looking at your life as an opportunity to learn from your experience without being emotionally overwhelmed. So just imagine like you are watching a movie. I know sometimes I don't know about you, Leona, sometimes I can watch a movie and I can become very emotionally attached to the movie because it's such a powerful story and I could cry, I could laugh. But our own life is like that. We are characters in our own movie. If we give ourselves a chance to observe ourselves from a side, not to judge, just to see, okay, what is this character doing? How are they behaving? What are they noticing about their life? Little things like that. And when you practice that, again, you're observing, I forgot who said it. What can I, in a situation, what can I observe here without judgment? what is presently good here that I currently cannot see. When you question yourself in such a way, you reframe your mind, you reposition your mind to look at the same situation with a different lens. Imagine you have glasses and you have speck of dust on them. And when you reposition this question in such a way, it's like as if you are sweeping the dust away and you can see a little more clearly, not completely, but a little bit more. But the more you practice, the better you would become. Again, putting in reps and getting resilience and clarity. So that's chapter 7.
I love that. The idea of not absorbing, because everything that's happening around you is not necessarily happening to you. It's not yours to absorb. Other people's energies, their problems, their things. You know, sometimes we can get caught up in the them things, and it's like, wait, is that really a me problem? No, that's a you problem, not a me problem. So let the thems have their stuff and observe it. I love that versus absorbing it, because yeah, we don't want to be those energy vampires absorbing and taking all that energy on. Or, you know, for my empath people watching, you know, you can very easily get involved in other people's stuff and you start taking on their problems as yours, right? And that's not what we're going to make us happy, holding on to everybody else's energy. So yeah, love that idea of not absorbing, but observing. That's such a good point.
Yeah. A simple comparison could be, imagine having a cold and passing on a cold to another person. But in this case, you're not passing a cold, you're passing your energetic feeling. Like, let's say somebody cut you off in traffic, and instead of letting it go, you're passing it on to another person. Maybe you meet in a coffee shop and somebody didn't give you your order right, and you release your wrath on them. And then they go home and they have significant other and they had a bad day. So it's like passing on a cold one to another when we carrying that, when we not observing ourselves, we just passing it along. So instead of doing that, spread positivity, spread joy, diffuse that negative thing. Because yes, oftentimes it's not even about you. Let's say two people agreed to meet and another person couldn't make it on time, or maybe they were late. We immediately start to assume that we are not important enough, that we didn't set aside time enough. How dare they not respect us? And maybe they have their own thing going on and it has nothing to do with you. They had a different, like whatever happened. And meanwhile, we take it on and we make it personal. There is a great book by Don Ruiz, 4 Agreements. And one of the, you probably know that.
Yes, love it.
Stop making assumptions. Not everything is about you. And I think world will be a better place when we release the assumptions and expectations and make agreements instead. So.
Yeah, the 4 Agreements is such an amazing book. And yeah, when you start realizing that it's not all about you, and that if you just really turn inward and just really focus on what is really yours and not other people's, it is such a huge shift to see that and be aware of that and have that observation and not be absorbing, but observing. I love that expression. So good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, next is chapter 8, and it is becoming free from overwhelm. And overwhelm, it's not heckled. Oftentimes, it's not something that just happened overnight. It's a daily neglect of self, taking on too many things, not noticing, and that pile up happens, and then we find ourselves overwhelmed. And again, 3 little points about this chapter dealing with overwhelm. Prioritizing and managing time effectively, like you don't have to do everything. Oftentimes there is a great thing, you can create a list of things not to do, or things that you can delegate to others, or things that source universe is supposed to take care, and you take care of the things that you can take care of, and not taking, too much. Managing what is possible and not, yeah, we all have mile-long lists and agendas, but being mindful and listening to your body, what you are able to create in a given amount of time. And creating that balanced schedule. Practice stress reduction techniques. We cannot, we're not energizer bunnies. We need to take breaks throughout a day, whether it's meditation, whether it's walk around the block, whether it's I don't know, doing some release techniques, sometimes even breathing, simple things like that to allow ourselves to balance a day. I'm doing I call 28-day walking challenge. So what I implemented, what's different from last month to this month, instead of one walk in the morning, I now do 2 walks. I do a morning one and then an afternoon one. And it's been such a difference in my well-being. I feel more rested. I feel more energized. I even feel lighter. I didn't lose much weight. I lost a little bit, but my energy levels are much higher versus before. So, and it's all about, again, listening to your body, listening to what your body needs. Sometimes we go on and on and on, and we don't stop until we crash. And we gotta be mindful. Some people take naps. I had a guy on a podcast who said, I take naps, and there is nothing wrong with that, because you gotta be in tune to your body and see what your body wants. And respecting that, not rushing, not pushing yourself, because we all have that kind of methodology or way, like you gotta go, go, go. But you're not just a human doing, you're first of all a human being. So
Yes,
remember
forget
to
the
be a
being.
human.
Yes, we have to remember we are being, which means like just to be, just to be in the here and the now. Yes, not the human doers that we so forget that we're not just that, right?
Yeah. And another point about this chapter, dealing with overwhelm, is setting boundaries and learning to say no. I hope I'm recovering from being a people pleaser and saying no again to protect your mental and emotional health by setting clear boundaries. Anytime we stay silent, anytime we don't say, we teach other people how we want to be treated. Because other people cannot read your mind. So you gotta state where you are and express things in such a way. You cannot be everything for everybody else. Otherwise, you're gonna be nobody to yourself. Because every time you say yes to others, you say no to yourself. So being mindful of what's on your plate, checking with yourself, energetically speaking, if you have the resources and capabilities available, and if this is of any benefit to you, or you're just saying yes because you don't want to upset others, but then you upset yourself. And in the short run, maybe it's okay, but in the long run, everything accumulates, and we create this overwhelm in our life because we didn't say no at the time when we needed to.
One of the best advices I ever had was no is a complete sentence. You don't need to
Yes.
say no and, or no but, or no and justify anything. No is a complete sentence all by itself. No dot, no period, no, no.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And say it with confidence, because like you said, you're being able to set up a healthy boundary, and maybe that person that you said no to needed to see and have a positive projection for themselves to say, oh wow, I can say no too. Look, they just said no to me. Right? Like maybe they needed to see that it is possible for them, and you get to be that positive projection for them. Don't see that you're disappointing. Say that you're showing an example of what it's like to have healthy boundaries.
That's right. Yes.
I love that. Amazing. What else? We've got a couple more minutes left.
I'm curious about you, Leona. What resonated with you for the other 3 chapters? Movement, meditation, and hobbies. Which one resonated with you? What do you think of those?
I would say for me, the most important is habits, because being in this new chapter of my life after the 4 surgeries and the 2 years and rehabbing my knee and foot, it was creating new habits, because the way that I used to socialize looks different. I used to ballroom dance. I used to be very active. I used to go to yoga classes and practices. And now I have to conserve my energy. So if I have a fully booked day of clients, that's not me going out and getting to do the active activities that I used to do. It's now resting and honoring my body and its journey where it's at. So for me, I had to create new habits. Like, I couldn't go to the gym and do the elliptical on the same day that I vacuum my house, because vacuum the house with extra activities and steps on my foot, and so is the elliptical. So I have to choose, right? So it's not a yes and a lot of times with me, it's like this or. And so that was really huge for me, was like looking at different habits of like what I used to be able to do, because the energy level and my physical level, I was really like, I'm a manifesting generator. And if those that know that, I am an energizer bunny and I can go for forever and I have endless supply of energy. And so now it's reminding me that yes, I might have the energy to do it, but I might not have the physical capability, because my foot will very be happy with me if I get off of it and elevate and put it in front of the infrared light or ice it or something like that. So it's really been interesting during this healing journey to create these new habits and being able to see how that balance is in my work and play life and my activities, because a lot of my play was very active and my work is very active when I do fascial stretch therapy and massage. So I have to balance, like on a day like today when I had a lot more stretch clients and I'm getting ready to work at a health expo the next 2 days doing fascial stretch therapy demos for this corporate wellness event. I'm not doing the gym the next couple of days. I'm going into the hot tub and stretching and relaxing after tomorrow, because that's what my body is going to, call for. It's not going to be continuing to be active, because it's going to need rest being on my feet all day long for this event. So, as much as my mind says, go, 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 my body's like, but we like rest too. And I'm like, oh yeah, that thing. So it's really been great, because you can implement a lot of the other things during these new habits, right? So if I'm not doing that, like my non-negotiable is my meditation every morning. That is like always how I start my day, that 10 minutes. And then I grab the phone and start looking for the messages. And I can tell 100% if I don't do it in that order, it does kind of like affect my day in a different way. But now that I have more rest time, it's like, okay, I have more time to be the observer and watch the movies and, hang out with friends in a different way and enjoy fine dining and like enjoying food and more social activities that are like sitting. What can I do sitting these days that can bring me joy, which is, really interesting, because I've never been a sitting kind of person. So it's interesting to see the tendencies, right? Where your mind normally goes, the habits that you used to have and how you can correct, and then just observe, like, am I still doing it because that's a habitual thing and that's what I'm used to, or is it really serving me? And so I think that's been the greatest awareness for me during my recent healing journey.
Nice, nice. What are your hobbies? Do you have a hobby? Something you like to do for fun? Joy?
Yeah, so recently I've really gotten into obviously doing my passion projects like this virtual book club, getting these new books, meeting new people, creating new connections, being on people's podcast, going in and talking and telling my story and being able to have a lot more connections in a different way. Connections used to always come from physical activities. Now I can actually have connections through talking and connecting and sitting and going to the movies and things like that. So I really enjoy, going with a friend and having a great conversation and a good meal over that glass of wine and just having that like beautiful connection with someone else. So that's really been my new habit and my new activity that's been bringing me joy, is creating more connections in a more intimate one-on-one kind of setting versus group massive dancing and events. Because you know how it is in ballroom dance studios, you're talking with everybody and you're dancing and like you're not really having those like deep one-on-one connections, and so it's been interesting to be social in a different way and a little bit more like one-on-one situation versus one-on many. And as an extrovert, I love being around lots of groups of people, so it's been interesting to be on a smaller intimate scale with connecting with people.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So, and what about you? Besides your new walking challenge, do you have other habits right now that are popping up that are shifting because it's summer, right? And in New York, that means you get to be outside more, right? So are there more fun things that you get to be? Because, weather pending, Florida, we don't, we only have a few months that we can't really be outside. So is there any fun stuff that happens for you when the season changes up there?
Maybe more going on the beach. but I'm not like a beach going to sunbathe. I love going in the morning to watch sunrises. So I'm going to do more of those. And I continue singing. So that's my passion. That's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. And it's been such a greater, much greater for my mental health than any psychologist ever could, because I felt worse after psychology.
Well, we made it all the way to the end and then you cut out. But yes, I agree. Sometimes talk therapy isn't the best, and finding something that brings you joy, like singing, can be much more powerful and meaningful for ourselves and create a much deeper energetic shift.
Yes, because I believe through habits we discover pieces of ourselves we didn't know we had. Because reclaiming your life or recovering, it's not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you are underneath all your labels, underneath so many hats that we wear. We all have those pieces inside of ourselves, and it's a matter for us to discover where they are, what they are, allowing ourselves permission and setting aside time to practice those things. Not saying, oh, I'll do it later. Or a lot of times people say, oh, I'm going to work, and then when I retire, I finally do what I love. We are not guaranteed tomorrow. We have the present moment. And by the time you retire, you might be so worn out from life that you have no more energy or passion left to do what you want, to pursue your hobby, to pursue your passion. And the greatest regret of dying is things they didn't get to do, things they didn't try, as opposed to the things that they did.
Yeah, 100%. I was watching this movie last night, and the girl got married in Bali, and the parents were there, and they said, don't wait for like to savor the moment or to savor the sweet things for tomorrow, like do it now. And that movie was really such a depiction of living in the now and honoring yourself and making those choices that make you happy now, because like you said, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. So what could light you up today?
Yes.
Oh, amazing. I love this conversation. I love that we had hardly any tech issues and it worked, and you can see me and I can see you, and we all got to make this time and connection to really learn and grow during this experience. And I so look forward to next week, to finishing up the book with the final chapters and the final tips of the gift. So, my dear, from my heart to yours, I'm sending you much peace, love, and light. Namaste.
You too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great evening.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.